So yeah, I have. I've been doing a lot of prep, and our Friday night traveler game for Deep Night Revelation, which starts on October 21st at 7 p.m., is completely on track and will be ready to go. So I'm excited for that to start. But welcome to the Pirates of Drinax, our Wednesday night game. And before we get started, we'd like to thank a friend of the Greenwater Guildhall. If you're watching on Twitch, scroll down. You should see some tiles there. If you don't see the tiles, just go ahead and click on my profile image. They should pop up for you. We want to thank one of our friends. These are not partnerships or sponsorships of any kind. They're just products that we really like. And tonight we'd like to thank Dogmight Games. Dogmight Games makes beautiful wooden accessories for your tabletop RPGs, such as DM screens, dice trays, dice vaults, dice towers. They've got this cool thing called the Player Vault that I'm really excited about. My wife loves hers. If you order something, all of these are customizable, and if you order something that's customized, you can expect it to ship within 6 to 8 weeks of time of order. But they have a lot of stuff that's already in inventory that's completely beautiful. So if you're in a little bit more of a hurry, you can go ahead and order from their in-stock inventory, and those items usually ship in 1 to 2 business days. If you have not purchased from them or you want to purchase again, here's a little bit of incentive. We have a 10% discount code. Just go to when you go to your cart, you can put in the code FRIEND in all capital letters, and that will get you 10% off anything on the site. If you're a fan of our Wednesday night Traveler games, we do have a website via Obsidian Portal. The adventure log on that page is written in the manner of Traveler News Service articles, and it kind of deals with news coming in from all around the Trojan Reach. But our travelers in the game are becoming more and more newsworthy, so they are taking more of a front page notice. If you like our content, please go to the front page and give us a thumbs up. We like to see those fan likes, and we hope you enjoy. So where we left off, you guys decided that it was a good time to leave Drinax because there was a body of a high-ranking GeDeCo liaison / ambassador that was found in the service tunnels at the bottom of the floating palace. And it's highly likely, you don't know for sure, but it is highly likely that Qingxi went into a fugue state and killed this guy. Nobody knows why. She might be a Manchurian candidate. Maybe. Don't know. She doesn't know either. But there is some evidence to suggest that she is under some kind of suggestion. And so rather than stick around, you guys didn't bother to get rid of the body. You just like, nope, we're out of here. And so you bailed. And so that body was found, and you hear about that on the local news as you come into Tech World, into the Tech World system. And the news was that so far no arrests have been made. They don't have any suspects. Lady Hill, if you remember, she's the rich bitch from the court that doesn't have time to talk to anybody that can't trace their lineage all the way back to old Sindal. She had some choice information or some choice opinions to bloviate about. And so, you know, she clearly thinks that Qingxi is beneath the princess and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Basically nothing good to be said about Qingxi or, you know, you dastardly bastard pirates. So you blitzed out of there and took the 2-week trip to Tech World. And you come into Tech World. This is playing on the local data net. News travels pretty much as fast as you guys did, especially these these really big stories. Now, the weird thing about it, I will allow all of you to make a make an electronics comms plus intellect check.
I got an 8.
Okay.
I got a 6.
Okay.
11.
All right. Rexar was typing. I don't know, is Rexar having a mic problem? I see that you're muted.
Here.
Oh, there you are.
I'm just not feeling too good. So you said electronics comms plus intellect?
Correct.
-3.
Wow. So, Ting got it. I'm sorry. What did Keith get?
11.
Okay. So Ting and Keith, it occurs to you that essentially, so you guys have been in jump space for 2 weeks. Essentially, for that news to have reached Tech World before you got there, a courier ship with high jump capability would have had to have left Drinax like within hours of the body being discovered. Your guess is that the Keith, your guess is that the news was actually disseminated by GeDeCo. They spread the news story, or the information on the news story, rather. So, Qingxi brings the Capri Sun into Tech World. And so, I mean, Beth and Keith and Rexar have been to Tech World before. But these are some images of what you see as you come in. Now, here, as you're coming in for a landing, I don't think Ting's ever been to Tech World. You come in for the landing, and there is one major city on Tech World. The rest of the planet is pretty much a barren rock ball. And then, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's this enormous city. And in the middle of this city is what appears to be a gigantic black orb. And as you get closer, you can see other ships are coming in and heading for this black orb. And as they come in for a landing, you see sections of this black orb kind of fold and move and come off and develop a landing platform, and the ships will land on it, and then the whole landing platform kind of gets sucked and dissolved back into the black orb. This whole thing is the starport. In fact, that's its name, is Starport, with a capital S and a capital P. Tech World, they're really rich in science, but not, but they're not very imaginative, evidently. And so Qingxi goes ahead and gets landing clearance, and the ship comes in to dock. Now, Tech World. So docking fees are going to be 600 credits per day. And fuel costs, refuel will cost you 900 credits per ton. So let's see. Holy shit, that's a lot of money. What did I say?
Well, maybe we should hold off on refueling to see if we get to be like heroes and they give us a bunch of free fuel.
Right? That's true, yeah.
I'll dock and then I'll worry about refueling in a bit.
Yeah, your refueling cost here at Tech World right now, it looks is going to run like 37,800 credits.
Yeah, I'll wait and see if the price goes down.
Okay. So,
How long does it take to refuel? Or, I mean, I guess I could radio back to somebody and be like, okay, fuck it, do it, you know?
right, yeah. Well, I mean, you can pay on the way out if you can refuel on the way out. I mean, they're perfectly capable of refueling your ship. So
Yeah, I guess I was like worried if we need to make a dramatic escape. I need to be on the lookout for that.
that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's a really good point. So, Tech World, and let me confirm this real quick.
So the engineer advises to refuel like a little bit.
So, yeah, so that's not a terrible idea. Here's the argument for refueling now, is that Tech World has no gas giants. There's really not a whole lot in this system. There's Tech World, there's a couple of other rocky planets that really are questionable that they can actually be called planets, and there's an asteroid belt system, and that's it. There's no gas giants. So wilderness refueling is impossible, and your tanks are sucking fumes. So if you want to make a hasty escape, that could be a problem.
So it's 37K, is that right?
37,800.
Okay, I'll do math and subtract. Fuck it, we'll fuel up. I don't want to be totally stuck.
Yeah, after discovering that your pirate band is kind of in the hole, you're probably clenching up your purse strings a little bit tighter.
Well, it's not necessarily in the hole right now. I mean, we sacrificed the ship for it.
Well, that's true. I mean, yeah, there's a possibility that you'll get out of that hole once that's done.
Okay, everything's subtracted. We're all fueled up and good.
All right. So, as you step off of the Capri Sun, you are standing in a basically cyberpunk style paradise, and there's just everything that you could possibly imagine tech-wise is available here. Now, Tech World, there is another planet in the Treasure Reach called Newman, and Newman suffered a massive holocaust of their own making. They were super high-tech world that basically their society was governed by a series of artificial intelligences. And somebody discovered a ancient relic, and the AIs looked this thing over and decided that it was the blueprints to something called the Transcendence Engine. And so there were 12 of these AIs. 11 of them decided, hey, we're going to follow the guidelines and we're going to build this thing and transcend, and everything will be great. The 12th AI said, yeah, I don't really believe that that's what this is. I think that it's probably a trap, and that you're setting yourselves up to destroy all of mankind by building this thing. And so they went to war with one another and unleashed swarms of nanobots, and they gave the nanobots conflicting orders. And so the nanobots with conflicting orders basically turned on each other and essentially leveled, more than half the planet. And when I say leveled, that's literally what happened. They broke down buildings, people, everything, molecule by molecule, and formed into a gray goo of more nanites. And then every once in a while in this gray goo, a building will form, a person will form, and then suddenly dissolve back into the gray goo. And it's like that to this day. And so Newman created something called the Shield Church, because you can only fight technology with religion. We all know that. And so the Shield Church put out a massive order banning pretty much all, science, or they put massive limits on science. Newman is still a high-tech, paradise in a couple of the cities, but they have a strict limit on what can be done. GeDeCo wanted to build a starport, and they basically put out a order to the scientists that weren't getting fulfilled on Newman and said, hey, if you guys come over here and build us a spaceport, we will allow you to do any kind of scientific research you want, absolutely no limits. You could do whatever you want, just build, help us build this spaceport. You can run the planet to a point and, have at it. And so that's what they did. And so Tech World is essentially a planet full of mad scientists. It is, I want to say Tech level 14, I believe. Let me look at its UWP again. Yeah. Let's see. 10, 11, A, B, C, D, E. 12, 13, 14. Yeah, Tech level 14. So, pretty much anything that you could possibly want up to Tech level 14 is available here. And so, as you step off, you're seeing these neon signs. Neon, that sounds so very retro. Probably more like LED, but whatever. And there's cybernetics boutiques that are surrounded by noodle shops. But everybody can make a recon plus intellect check.
I got a 6 again.
That's not good.
That's my problem.
I got 7.
Got a 5.
Okay. What about Rexar? Yep. Rexar dropped out. So you look out, you guys look out and you see just a throng of movement and whatnot going about. And coming towards your ship, you see a female protocol droid, all gold, but shaped in what could only be described as the perfect female form is this robot. Okay, so yeah, Corey is sick and he's gonna step off for the night. If he's got what I'm just getting over, then I totally feel his pain. So, you guys see this female form golden android come up to you. And she gets closer and she says, "Greetings. My name is Sophia. I will be your liaison while you're here on Tech World. We offer newcomers to Tech World a liaison, since it can be quite daunting for people that have not been here before."
Thank you, Sophia. Do you have combat capabilities?
No. She says I don't have anything like that. No.
Thank you. I'm still suspicious, but all right, let's go.
She says I'm going to assume that you probably don't want to spend your time aboard ship, so I've gone ahead and registered a hotel room for you at the local Advantage Hotel.
It's classy.
We have a higher class standard than most people. Taking liberties with what I may or may not like
She says
is probably a bad decision.
She says, you might be surprised. The Advantage Hotel located here on Tech World in Starport is much nicer than many that you may have been in across other systems. You're used to Advantage Hotel being kind of like the Motel 6 of Starport hotels.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, I guess it's probably more like the Best Western.
Jaeger sale. I want some comforts.
She says, well, if the rooms are not to your liking, I'm sure that we can find you better accommodations. We have gone ahead and taken care of the cost of the rooms for your stay here.
Is the art evenly spaced on the walls and perfectly symmetrical with the room's layout?
She says, well, I'm not sure about that, but I can tell you that it is considered to be a 5-star hotel. So
You're not giving me a lot of hope here.
So she is leading you through the city streets, and like I said, everything tech-wise is available. There are, like I said, cyber augmentation. They're like boutiques. Like you would go in and say, oh, well, I think I'm going to go in and get my hair done. But instead you go in, you sit down, and they install a wafer jack. I mean, you see a number of these boutiques along the way. There's a number of restaurants, but you look around and you can count the number of actual living sophons moving around on one hand. I mean, you don't see very many people. The throngs that you see moving about are all robots. And Sophia looks at you and she says, I see that you've noticed that there is a high robot population on the world. Yes, that is true. The total population of living beings on Tech World is only around 10,000, while the population of robots is well over 1 million.
Wow, Sophia, that's so interesting.
So did you guys, she says, she gives you directions and basically, gives you a GPS Google Maps to your mobile comm on how to get to the Advantage Hotel. And she says, if you'd like, I can take you to the hotel immediately, or if you would like to spend some time in our shopping district, you can go shopping and go to your hotel via these coordinates, and we can meet up again tomorrow morning.
Let's meet up tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
So,
are you just going to follow us around and point stuff out, or is there a reason for us meeting in the morning? Sophia? No,
she's here to answer any questions that you might have about Tech World, point you in any directions that you want to go. Otherwise, if you're just going to go shopping and then head to the hotel on your own, she will leave you to your business and meet up with you tomorrow morning to check on you, basically.
say we try and locate the black market here and find some computer viruses since we're surrounded by robots.
Okay.
Don't you have a
I'm
contact
scared.
of somebody that we're wanting to hit? I mean, somebody kind of summoned us.
Right, but you don't have a contact. Remember, they told you to visit them on Tech World. They didn't give you a name. They didn't give you any coordinates or where to meet them, and you don't know what they look like because they were wearing a silver mask.
They just sent us a disc with our docs on it, and we're like, show up.
Right,
And we did.
Yeah, we're pretty sure that they'll track us down, though.
right.
I am scared of the robot situation. That is eerie and weird, and I want to have some sort of defense other than we're our big guns, just because of the outnumbering problem. So that's my opinion of what to do. It might be fine though. Sophia seems nice.
As you're standing on this busy street, you can hear there's a noodle stand, and behind the counter of the noodle stand, cooking up ramen is a robot, and it is garishly it's colored in like a rainbow kaleidoscope of colors, and yelling out in Vargur, hawking noodles. Do any of you speak Vargur?
I have a translator program.
I can speak any language if I've heard it.
Because he swallowed that.
Oh, that's right.
Space.
So Keith, this robot is yelling out in perfect Vargur that they have the best noodles. Come get your noodles. 5 credits per bowl. Try the sake.
Get some for Ox. We can have him eat it on the ship. That'll be nice.
Sounds good. I'd like some noodles.
Are you buying for Ox or for you?
We could buy some and bring some back to Ox as well.
Yeah, that's pretty cheap.
All right. So yeah, they're 5 credits a bowl. That includes a small glass of sake.
Yeah. Oh, you got this.
All right.
I mean, this robot even, and it has no legs. From the waist down, it's actually on a rail system behind the counter, and it just slides back and forth, and it has a 360-degree rotation, so it can turn around and work the flat grill and, boil the noodles and then turn around and serve the bowl right there. But you notice, so this robot isn't just speaking Vargur. It's speaking Vargur with perfect intonation, perfect accent. Like, whoever programmed this thing did a fabulous job on its vocator.
Interesting.
Did we ask it programmed it? Is that offensive to robots? Or will they tell you?
I mean, I don't see. Well, did you want to ask him?
About commissioning him for a project.
Make it persuasion plus charm check.
Oh, shit, fuck. Okay, let's see if I can roll something other than 6. That might be pretty. Okay, yeah, I did persuasion. I got 10.
He kind of looks at you, and he looks down at his waist, and he says, "I don't know how much good I'll be. I can't." And he speaks perfect Galanglic at this point. He says, "I don't know how much good I'll be. I can't get out from behind this counter. But what is it that you were looking to have me do for you, besides make noodles?"
Wait, he programmed himself. Is that what we're to understand?
Oh no, so he doesn't know who his maker was.
Okay, all right, fair enough. That's cool. Although, if he suddenly gets the urge for freedom and wants to be off the rails and not making ramen anymore, we could probably I don't know, weld him to our ship somewhere or something. I don't mind.
Building some legs. I have a robotics program that works just great in my wafer jack combo thing there.
If he gets legs, he can be a real boy.
Would he be interested in doing some services for legs, or maybe a grab unit?
We should make up for some of the shitty things we've done and just make this robot under legs. We get some free time. That's my opinion.
That's going to be your penance, is to make legs and make the robot a real boy. Oh, shit. That is a stretch. So, you have your noodles. They are actually quite good for being created by a non-sentient being that is incapable of taste. Go ahead and make another Recon Plus intellect check.
Got a 7.
I got a 9.
Oh, wait, 8. I'm sorry.
11.
Sheesh. Okay. So, Beth and Ting, you're looking across the street, and you see that there is a hold on here. I'm trying to remember the name of this place. So there is a large bar, and when I say large, this bar or nightclub really that takes up like a city block. It looks more like a strip mall, and the nightclub is called Luddites. And you see that there are a number of living humans, Vargur, a couple of Aslan, going in and out of Luddites. And the noodle robot, that's just going to be his name now. He should have been given tentacles instead of arms. The noodle robot says, if you're new to Tech World, you might, to avoid techno culture shock, you might go to Luddites. It's a lower tech nightclub that caters to spacers of all kinds and newcomers to Tech World. Keith, you notice that the building next to the street corner appears to be some kind of brothel. But on your 11, you realize that the prostitutes that are standing out front aren't people. They are extremely high-end androids.
Interesting.
Think like replicants from Blade Runner kind of androids. But there are subtle indications that they are something other than living. Like you might see like a line down the side of the face, or a strange tattoo on their neck, or something like that. But it's clear to you that these are robots of some kind.
I'll inform the crew that these seem to be some sort of robotic being, and let's be a little careful around them.
Real doll 4.0.
If we ever find another mega destroyer like we just found, I think we ought to convert it to a casino. And just tour the whole reach, gambling and offering robot sex. Just,
Why not?
That would be a great job. I bet that makes a lot of money.
I'm sure it does. And if they're androids, if they're androids, you can bypass a lot of those pesky Imperial laws.
Oh, well, we're not really well known for paying attention to Imperial laws.
That's true. That's true.
That is not our strong suit.
So, do you guys want to head to Luddites?
Yes, that sounds amazing.
Okay. So you come into Luddites, and the music's loud, but it is a slightly lower tech environment than the street that you just came in off of. There is a bartender that is a robot. In fact, it's a standard model, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. I don't have the PDF in front of me, but it is a basically you've seen these models before. Their entire job is to make drinks and act as bartenders, and but that's about the only robot that's in here. There are a couple of, I take that back. There's a couple of robot waiters and waitresses moving about, but for the most part, everybody that's in here looks to be some kind of Sophont from Charted Space. Boy. Everybody roll a d6.
Oh my, here we go.
I got 6.
Okay?
I got 2.
Okay?
Oh, 1.
Okay. So, on your 6, as the group kind of splits up and you're meandering through the crowd. Ting, you meet this really, I mean, he sticks out. He does not look like a spacer. There is this nerd sitting by himself in the corner. In fact, I have a picture of this nerd. And I should have a picture of this nerd. Yes. Oh boy. He looks a lot like me in high school. So here is this guy that you see sitting in this booth. And he's going over he's reading some deep treatise on a portable computer, and he's got a small stack of actual printed books sitting next to him, and they all have numerous bookmarks in them. He's clearly getting ready to run a D&D game, and he piques your interest, and he looks up and he reaches out his hand and says, "Oh, my name is Lemuel Vinus. I'm a researcher from Newman." And he says, "Why don't you have a seat?"
Sure. I'm Ting Hansen, the Star Dragon Knight of Jagersil.
Oh man, I haven't really met any Star Dragon Knights. You sound important. He says, I'm just a researcher from Newman, but I'm working with a brilliant scientist named Jolly Aster.
Jolly Aster, you say?
Yes, she is a premier expert in nanotechnology, a field of study banned on our homeworld by the oppressive Shield Church.
Yeah.
You get the impression that Lemuel is essentially out of his comfort zone. Like everything about this guy screams that he's on Tech World and doesn't even know where to begin, other than to just keep his head stuck in the books, and kind of ignore the rush of technology around him.
Do you have, or your friend have samples of these nanotechnologies?
He says, "Oh, Dr. Aster has many samples in the laboratory, but they're all being studied."
Oh, where's this laboratory?
He says, "Oh, it's in the tech district."
Oh, how do you feel about cybernetic bacteriums?
I find them fascinating. He looks out across the bar and he says, I find this place absolutely amazing. It's interesting to see how humans used to live. He says, even if most of them, your comment about cybernetics, even if most of them are augmented, that gentleman over there, those aren't his real eyes, and that girl over there, she's got a wafer jack. He says, but it's still interesting how they all come to Luddite so that they can ignore the technology around them.
Oh, I just came in because it felt right. Still, do you think you and your compadre could have the ability to work on a project I might be interested in? It might be of interest to you. My idea is to take a bacteria and augment it with cybernetics, so it would infect people kind of, but disable psionic abilities. That is exactly what I'm kind of my end game that I would like.
He says, "Oh, that."
How do you think about that?
He kind of leans back and goes, "That would be fascinating. You're talking about what, 3-4 different areas of research? If you can leave me with your MobileCom number, I can go ahead and pass it on to Dr. Astor, and we can give you a call tomorrow."
Oh, that would be wonderful, and I will give my comm number to Lemuel Venus.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna also ask him if he has noticed anybody else that has augmentations coming in and out of here, since he is,
he says,
so observant.
he says, well, on Tech World, I mean, the bigger question is, have you seen somebody that doesn't have augmentations? I mean, you can get them for really cheap at any of the boutiques. He basically informs you that the boutiques, for a lot of augmentation on Tech World, I mean, it's like half the price of what you would pay. It's half of the list price from the Central Supply catalog.
Wow, that is good information. Are they up for haggling, or are these set prices?
He says, well, I'm sure there's some wiggle room. And he says, and if you ask around on the street and you know who to talk to, you might find some shops that have some proto-tech.
Do you have an access to this underground railroad network of?
He says, no,
secretive Smiths?
He says, no, I don't, but I know that they exist. I've heard many rumors about it, and there's plenty of people that seem to leave here, and they've got something that's way higher than Tech Level 14.
Well, what happens to people that break rules around here?
He said he kind of looks at you like he's confused by your question. Well, what kind of rules?
Well, I'm sure this place has laws, rules, regulations, things that make it exist. And if you broke one of those, even inadvertently, what could one expect here to happen?
Well, I suppose there would be, well, I mean, it depends on how dire the circumstances are. I mean, you might get shot. That's always, that's a danger of being a traveler. But he says there's not really any courts.
No courts? Is there law enforcement?
There is security, but it's basically dealt on a case-by-case basis.
Huh.
The big thing, and he kind of reiterates, the big thing with Tech World is that it's all scientists, and their mandate is that there are no limits on what they can do.
That does sound amazing. Thank you for your time. I hope that you have your mistress contact me in the near future.
Yes, I'll pass this on to her, and we'll try to give you a call tomorrow.
Oh, of course.
So,
And then I will move on and allow the other players to
okay.
people socialize.
So
Set
Beth,
things on fire.
you so you're bopping around, and you actually get up to the bar itself, and at the bar there is an old guy. He's looks like he's spent too much time in his ship, and just looking at him, you're like, I bet that you live on a scout ship. You look like somebody who stays on a Type S. And you're close. He introduces himself as Eldrith Vox. He is a prospector and explorer. And he doesn't have a Type S. He actually has, I believe it's the Type J. It is the Seeker mining ship, which is a common modification to the Type S scout ship. They modify it, or some of them are actually built from scratch for this, but it is a Type S that's modified pretty much for mining operations. And he tells you that he and his crew, actually, go make a Recon Plus intellect check. It's an easy check.
11.
Wow, you creamed that. So, he's wearing the typical spacer jumpsuit. He has a patch on his arm that says Imperial Lines Shipping. And he offers a bar stool next to him. He says, you're aware of the niceties, and he uses air quotes, of staying aboard a Type S, are you?
Well, this scout service does owe me a favor.
Yeah, he says, yeah, me and my crew are on a mission to map the Reach and establish new trade lines. He's like, and he says he and his crew. Well, if it's a Seeker mining ship, you know that. Well, I mean, his crew is there's probably only one, maybe two people. So his crew, including himself, would be a crew of 3. So it's kind of funny that he calls it my crew, because it's like, what, you and your buddy? Okay, you know.
In a map Reach.
Well,
Jeez.
yeah, that's his goal, is to map the Reach and come up with new lines of trade.
So he wants to know where people are.
Yeah, more or less. He's new to the region. He tells you that he actually just jumped into the Borderlands subsector from Tobiah.
I'm going to tell him to stay the fuck away from Ergo.
He says, oh, really? It's funny because I got a notice that said that Ergo was had lucrative trade offers.
I'll go ahead and tell him the whole story where we land there because we were being pursued and we doubted anybody would follow us, and a mutant human manually pumped sludge into our ship in order to refuel it, and then we had to fight more mutant radiation people and have robot spiders. So
He says, well, yeah, that doesn't sound like a good trade opportunity at all. He says, well, thank you for the tip. He says, hey, out of curiosity, and feel free to say no, he says, kind of down on my luck at the moment. You wouldn't be willing to buy a fellow spacer a drink, would you?
well, sure I would. I'll buy you around, no problem.
Well, thank you so much. So that comes out to like another 10 credits.
Yeah, I figured it wasn't too much. So where did he get the intel from that told him that Ergo was good to trade at?
Actually, the information came from the higher-ups at Imperial Line Shipping. Now, you...
Division GeDeCo, or is it its own thing?
It's its own thing.
Okay.
But, I mean, obviously, their intel is not good. Yeah. It would be your immediate guess is that, and you have seen Imperial Line shipping ships before. They're actually fairly common in Imperial space, and you would expect to see them someplace like Tobiah and whatnot. You might see occasionally some of the larger Imperial Line ships, and when I say larger, I'm talking like 30,000 plus D-tons, going up and down the Dust Belt from here to like the Florian League. The reality is that most of those crews are fish out of water, because this is a lot of times those crews this is their first time out of the Imperium. So what you know from being a pirate is that Imperial Line shipping ships are ripe for the picking.
Oh, okay. Where could we tell him to go? I kind of like him though. I'm not sure I want to do anything bad. Reminds me of my dad, So is Paradise's economy so like rinky-dink that having a shipping line go to it would not be worth the damn?
You're talking about fantasy?
Or fantasy, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, fantasy is. I don't even know that you could say that fantasy has an economy.
They sold us ceramic plates with ducks painted on.
That's true. They did sell you ceramic plates. Yeah, I mean, if he's looking for touristy stuff and post hole diggers, then fantasy might be his cup of tea. Yeah, I mean, like I said, fantasy doesn't really have a whole lot of economy. I would say they probably do occasionally trade with, small trade ships, which, I mean, he would totally classify. So, I mean, it could be that he would be able to get, he would be able to fill his fuel tanks and put some food in his belly with a trip to fantasy. And it doesn't take much for them to be excited.
I guess I would tell him that, like, if he's in that region, it'd be, like, a safe place to stop for a little while, since it's so hard being in the ship. But I'm not going to take advantage of this guy. That's, like, my decision that I have to make from this encounter.
Okay.
I'll let him go.
You're going to let this one go?
He's sweet, yeah.
So, Keith, you're bopping around and you find a gentleman wearing an Imperial Navy uniform.
Oh, interesting.
Time to arm wrestle.
Yeah.
And so you were in the local Navy for Chachi La Huidaque, and I'm probably not saying that right, but it's Aztec, and it's really difficult to say.
Been a while since
There's way too many consonants next to each other in that word. But anyways, this guy is and I mean he kind of sticks out because I mean it looks like he may have actually pressed his uniform while sitting in the bar just to make sure that all the crease lines were right. And he's a fairly young guy.
All right.
Have lots in common.
Yeah.
So he introduces himself as Lieutenant Harold Nash, of the Imperial Navy. He is an officer aboard the Gazelle-class escort Lionsbane. And the Lionsbane is a part of a trade convoy that is currently on a stopover here on Tech World for the week. And they're heading for the Aslan Herate.
Interesting. So, what kind of cargo are you hauling to the Aslan Herate? That's an interesting location.
Oh, the usual. Probably loads of dust spice. You know, those cats love that. And he says he's not really sure about what the other cargo is. He says the Lionsbane doesn't actually carry cargo other than, you know, its own stores and ammunition. But
So you're an escort ship. That's
yes,
right.
yes, the Gazelle class escort, which I believe is a 400-ton. You guys have been up against Gazelles before. That whole debacle at Exie, when you were going after the treasure ship, there were a couple of Gazelles that kind of got the crap beat out of them. He basically is not entirely sure what it is that they're protecting. He just knows that he's supposed to protect the convoy. And go ahead and make a persuasion plus charm check.
Okay. I got 5.
He kind of starts to get a little brash and is a bit of a braggart and kind of brags that he's eager to cross swords with some of those dastardly pirates that I've heard so much about. Did you hear that some of those bastards actually hit His Imperial Highness's treasure ship right here on Tech World?
What an unusual place to have a treasure ship. Why would they be passing through such an unruly location?
Well, evidently they tried to hit the ship earlier and caused it to have a malfunction, and it was forced to land here to repair.
Interesting. What a dastardly group.
Yeah, I'd love to get my hands on them. he makes a comment. He goes, I bet they're all really ugly too. I bet they've got like scars across their face. I bet they wear eye patches.
Do you think that the captain has a peg leg?
Oh, probably. At the very least, it's a very crude cybernetic leg. Probably cobbled together from landing gear struts.
Awesome.
He's saying that.
He is. Where do you hail from originally?
He is actually he's been stationed at the Imperial Naval Yard at Pax Rulin. So
I'm trying to replace that. So that's the big.
I can show you. I think maybe. Hold on here. I don't know if I have it on the map, but we will look.
Okay.
We do not have it on here. Rilgar's on there.
It would be over this way-ish, like over here, right?
I think, and like I said, let me look at the other map. Maybe I'm wrong. Hold on. Oh yeah, no, this is just the bottom part. This is just Borderlands subsector.
Have you ever been through Cheshire-Leaquay?
He says he has, and he tells you that he's been through there recently, and tells you that he gives you an interesting little piece of info. He says that Chauncey-la-Weediquay, he says, you're probably aware of their overpopulation problem. He says,
Absolutely.
he says, obviously, since you're from there, he says, one of their city governors has put out a call that they want to relocate people from their city. And if you remember, Chauncey-la-Weediquay's city, they're basically floating cities, kind of floating cities, but they're they call them cities. What they really are is a bunch of cargo containers stacked up on top of each other in skyscraper manner, and people's living situation there is not great. Well, this governor, and he says, this isn't confirmed, it's a rumor, but this governor, it said that they're putting out a call wanting to hire ships to transport people off-world and relocate them somewhere else to try to lessen their population crisis. He says they're still working on that damned underwater city that they have been rebuilding for the past year and a half. But he says this governor has a quicker solution.
That's a pretty good solution. I wonder if they have any need for people in different sector, like maybe we could bring some people out to the Trojan Reach. That's an interesting idea. Huh.
Yeah, he says he says if you're a crew of a vessel that would be capable of such a thing, you know, it could be a quick way to pick up a lot of money.
Interesting.
Now,
well, thanks for the tip.
No, you're very welcome. He says, you know, one spacer to another. He toasts you, he says, here's to the Navy.
To the Navy.
So, the interesting thing about that tip that he just gave you is that you guys have in your possession, last time you saw it, it was docked at your space station in Borite. You have a subsidized liner that you captured and took over. The pirates have kind of modified it through some gun turrets and whatnot on it. But, I mean, as a gunship, it's a glass cannon because it really has no armor, to be said. But, you know, it could hold quite a few gun turrets. I think 3 or 4. But what it can hold is a lot of people. I mean, it's basically a cruise ship. It'd be like if they took a Carnival Cruise Lines and strapped a, 20 millimeter autocannon to the foredeck. That's basically what this thing is.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll talk to the captain about it.
That could be another way for your pirate crew to generate some cash and liquidate themselves. So you guys kind of, after mingling a bit, you all meet back up and, sit there and have a couple more drinks. And a rather well-dressed individual, like full-on suit, tie, everything, steps up to your table, and he introduces himself as simply as a Mr. Cerule, and he says that I may have a potential mission, and from kind of overhearing some of your conversations around the bar individually, I may be interested in chartering you.
Go on.
So it's a simple delivery run. You drop the cargo, a cargo of high-tech goods to the planet Birney. And he says they'll be picked up there by a Junk 5 courier, and they'll be taking them out on a long journey into the Great Rift. That's beyond you. But if you can deliver these these high-tech goods to Birney, I would be willing to pay you 900 credits each. And plus, I'd cover all of your fuel costs, of course.
Is this a job we can delegate to the pirate crew? This seems kind of...
You could.
I think we might want to go to Birney, though.
Are we going there anyway?
Fairly soon, I think.
Is that correct? I don't... Does anybody else remember?
So,
Well-
my recollection is that Birney is somewhere that we want to try to list into the Drinax.
Right. So Birney is
Okay.
the last bastion of the true Sindalian Starguard. And they have basically been holding out since the fall of the Sindalian Empire, waiting for a true royal heir to take over and proclaim themselves emperor. They have not seen that happen, and they haven't made any overtures as far as joining Drinax or joining Yggdrasil. And there's even a rumor going around that a true imperial descendant is actually farming turnips on the planet Norica. So, you know, the Starguard of Birney is not really interested.
So 900 credits just seems like not a lot. Is this guy associated with anybody? Like, if we just steal all this shit and sell it somewhere, are we gonna get super murdered? Or
I'm sorry. I said 900. I meant 9,000 credits each. Plus,
okay.
plus he would cover all fuel and docking fees.
Okay, that's fine. All right, yeah. I was a little confused by the price, but now that makes more sense to me. Okay, fair enough. We'll be going to Birney soon. Is there like a rush on it?
He says that he would like to ship these high tech parts out by the end of the month.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah, let's make that our next thing that we do.
Okay. So he shakes hands with you and he exchanges mobile comm numbers with you, and he kind of steps off.
Listen.
If there's an actual descendant, royalty out farming turnips, what about if we went and got a sample of his DNA and then infused it with, one of the royalties for Drinax, and kind of. I mean, that would be a technically a descendant.
Yeah, I mean, so the technology in the Scholar Tower is high enough. Tech level 15, and this, of course, this is not canon. It's not in the book at all. But today, right now, they're on the verge of being able to generate a test tube baby, essentially, that is in vitro fertilization with genetic characteristics from people aside from the natural act of baby making. So, for instance, Princess Rao and Qing Shi. They could take genetics from both of them, combine them, and implant a fertilized egg into one of them. They could do the same thing for two men. There's not really any reason that you couldn't take genetics from a third person. In fact, I think they actually, in real life, they recently did that. I think this was like last year. They took genetic material from 3 donors, and somebody gave birth to a baby that had genetic markers from 3 different people.
What about possibly infusing the DNA with another person You know, I mean, of course they'll go through some changes, and hair might grow where it wasn't before. But I mean, still, I mean, like the DNA test would come back, and that this person was a direct descendant of the crown. And you would have to go through the pesky thing of trying to brainwash a kid and all that. So
I am
That's
not
a better idea.
I am not a geneticist, but my so you know, don't take anything I say as fact. But my understanding of it is that in order to do that, you would have to create a retrovirus, and most of the time,
to get around all the genetic engineering.
well, most of the time, the retrovirus proves fatal to the living organism. Now, that may be something that can be fixed at higher tech levels, but then again, maybe not. It's easier to make a baby from scratch than it is to change a living human being. Is what I'm saying.
So something that we could do instead is, okay, how do they get the DNA for the test?
Well, if you've ever seen an episode of Game of Thrones, no, I'm not sure. I would imagine, you get a magazine of your choice and or maybe it's just a blood test. I'm not sure.
Yeah, if it's a blood test, we can implant a tube in your arm and put some blood from somebody royal in it, and then they'll draw that and go, oh, you're royal. Or if it's hair, we can implant hair plugs temporarily, shit like that.
That's really funny because people have actually done that.
Yeah.
So
somebody did to get away with the crying once. I remember that. So
okay,
I just get wary about the genetic engineering. They try to make beef cows have like shorter hair because they get less hot and it like makes them make more meat or something. So they changed some genes to make their hair short, and a bunch of them ended up with extra vertebrae. So like things get a little wonky if you start messing with genes.
yeah, you can't make an omelet without breaking more than a half dozen 200 eggs.
They want to be royal. That's the deal.
Yeah,
Like officially.
yeah. Our first part of that, even on a fake, we've got to go see this turnip farmer.
That is true. We'll have to possibly bribe him for some of his blood or steal it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
We could take some brain cells. Would be excellent.
So Mr. Cerule, he exchanges mobile comm numbers with you, and he shakes your hands, and he gets up, and as he's leaving, his mobile comm rings, and he answers it, and he says, excuse me, I have to take this, and he steps away. And you spend the rest of your evening, he goes off doing his business. And finally, after plenty of drinks, one last chance. Did you want to do any shopping in the Spacer Quarter before heading to the hotel?
Well, if we were going to get an augmentation done, what is the healing rate? I mean, what is the way this goes down?
So it depends on. Obviously, it depends on what you want to get. If you here, chop off my arm. That's going to take a while. That's going to sting for a bit. But honestly, something like a wafer jack isn't going to take long. And even a neural comm. Because, I mean, like I said, you're talking about TL15. So, I mean, they can jack this stuff into your nervous system and you're right back ready to go.
Well, I was specifically looking at the peripheral vision enhancement.
Oh, yeah.
It's TL10.
Completely.
I guess, yeah.
And I mean, that's actually quite easy. They're just going to pop out one of your eyes and pop in a new one. And I mean, why stop there? So let me. Is there a chart? Of course not. That would make too much sense. I'm trying to look to see if there's like if there's a number of slots that are available for adding extra shit. I don't know that there is. Equipment 9 to 7. Here we go. Augments. So if you wanted to do the peripheral vision augmentation,
and the TL12 Shrieker box.
yeah, you could do both those. And like I said, it'll cost you half of the listed price.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Okay. Now
I want to get.
with the peripheral vision enhancement, you can do total enhanced vision if you would like, which will give you basically binoculars. You can see infrared and light intensification as well.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. Then. What is the price on that?
So enhanced vision is
There we go. The TL14.
TL13, and it would be 13,000 credits.
All right. Yeah, I'll do that. That gives me the best of both worlds, the enhanced.
All right.
Peripheral vision enhancement as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I specifically want that +1 bonus to my initiative rolls and recon checks.
Right.
Yeah. And then I want to pick up the TL12 Shrieker box so I can mimic voices and be a pain in the ass.
Sure. Can do. Anybody else interested in?
Is there anything that is damaging to robots specifically that I can have seen?
As far
Just
as
off the top here.
as far as an augmentation, not necessarily, but yeah, like
in my collections.
EMP is going to wreak havoc with most robots.
Will that mess me up because I have a wafer jack?
If you get caught in the blast of an EMP, then yes.
Okay, I think I should have them handy just in case. So that's like it's like a grenade, right? It's EMP.
Yes.
Am I thinking the right thing? Okay, so I want to buy like I don't know 3 of those, I guess, unless they're outrageously expensive.
Yeah, you can get those. Let's see here. I would think that they would be pretty readily available, considering all the robots.
Okay, good.
And they are at list price.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
electromagnetic
I'm
pulse.
just gonna-
So they're 100 credits each.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay, sure.
Jesus, they got a blast 6. That is that is a lot of electromagnetic pulse.
Okay, I better wing it real far then.
Yes.
Okay.
Anything for Keith?
I can see the wheels turning. He's thinking something. We can always come back tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Is there a way that we could attempt to help Ching Shi? It maybe locate. I know it's a little bit higher technical level, but you said there were some specials, right? And maybe get her a sci-tap.
Good. Make a streetwise plus intellect check. And for every for every 100 credits that you spend, you can add a +1 up to a maximum of +6 to that roll.
Okay, so I'm going to do this one up top. So let's see what happens here. I don't know if I'm out of line. That was a 9.
Yeah, you are able to find a underground, and literally it's like in a basement. And this is what would commonly be referred to as a cybernetics or augmentation chop shop. But they've got some high-tech equipment down there. And they could give prototype versions of Cytaps.
Okay,
But
can we
they're going to be at list price because they're black market. So 750K or 750,000 is.
I feel that, yeah. Can we bookmark that and give Ching Shi that option when she returns?
Certainly.
Or player returns?
Certainly.
Okay, then there. Bookmark that.
Okay.
So I was.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I was looking at the complex cranial processing unit.
Ooh. Go big or go home, right?
That's right. I wanted to know, it says DM +1 to all checks, typically science related, that involve complex math.
What? Yeah. Effectively a biological computer integrated with higher brain functions. This processing unit automatically activates when the traveler begins considering complex calculations. This grants DM +1 to all checks, typically science related, that involve complex maths. So this would give a +1 to things like pretty much any engineering skill, astrogation, any science skill.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I really want that.
Can do. Yeah, and it's TL14. So let's see here. So 125,000 credits for that.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
They're all getting modded, and I'm like getting EMPs.
Yeah, you're getting EMPs for when they all go cyber psycho and they lose their humanity and try to start murdering everybody in your sleep.
It's inevitable, basically. I mean, I've watched movies. I read books.
She's over here like, I've seen scanners. I know how this turns out.
Awesome, thank you.
You are welcome. Check this. Okay. So, you guys come back. Keith, it's obvious that Keith's got some work done since his head is shaved. They didn't shave all of it. They just shaved like a patch, and there's a scar there, or stitch marks. And, Ting's got new eyes. Yeah, this takes basically like 8 or 9 hours, and these guys come out, mod it out.
It's a lot like tattoos, you know.
Yeah.
You get your first one, and you're like, "Oh, this is really nice. I like it. I get a lot of compliments."
Yeah.
Strokes my
On
ego.
Tech World, it's a lot like that. I mean, unless you're getting something like, oh, I need to get a new liver, or I'm going to have my heart replaced with a pump, or a limb replacement, then, that's going to take some time. But something like a wafer jack, even a neural com, or even like his complex cranial processor, isn't as complicated as you might think, especially considering that the brain doesn't feel any pain. So, I would expect that at TL15, that's probably a day procedure. So this is the Advantage Hotel. And hold on here. No, hold on. Whoop. I don't even know what it was doing there. Turn that on. And I will do that. There we go. That's better. I'll throw Beth down here. And once again, this is a brand new custom map that I made using Dungeon Fog. And Ting is really small for some reason. Oops. There we go. So this is the end of the hallway. Of course, you step out of the elevator here, and directly across from the entrance, there is a small comms room and ice maker, and that's where you get your ice bucket, and there's snack vending machines, typical hotel fare. And then there is a hallway with 4 double rooms, and you can pick which room. I mean, there's only 3 of you, and it's paid. This floor basically belongs to you, so you can pick which rooms you want to stay in. I'll allow you to pick.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Keith and I were trying to share a room.
And where does Beth want? There you go. All right. Okay.
Here for the element of surprise.
Can I use the comms room real quick to try to send out a message to the pirate fleet that's supposed to be salvaging that scout and then salvaging
from
artifacts?
Yeah, basically from the comms room, you can basically create a data packet, and that it'll cost you 200 credits. And that data packet will be put onto the next available courier ship that will then go out and take the message to wherever you're wanting to send it, or as close as possible.
Yeah. I'm sure we've got some kind of way to contact them and get them in the grapevine. I would like us put together a data packet asking for an update on a list of the items they've found and located, and the status.
A typical courier ship in the Trojan Reach is going to have a jump 2 because it's the Trojan Reach, and they're using a lot of small time traders as far as it being couriers. You could pay 400 credits and have it put on an actual courier ship that has like jump 5. Now, like you said, you do have a way of getting in touch with these guys. So a jump 5 ship would be able to jump from Tech World to Drinax with no problem, and it would take a week. Then from Drinax, they're going to have to go from Drinax to Borite to deliver a message. So you're looking at another 2 weeks. So 3 weeks out, they would receive the message.
Yeah, and that's what I want. And I want them to go ahead and just send the message to me at Drinax.
Okay.
I will collect it there, but I want a list of everything that they're,
That they're currently doing and are up to.
Right, yeah, because they're supposed to be there looting artifacts and getting a scout ship and,
Okay. So, you guys bed down for the night. It's quite the comfy room. They have a small, each room has its own small, wet bar. And the rooms are completely paid for, so you continue to drink up. Ting and Keith are on pain meds, so hey, mix that with some alcohol. Let's get this party started. Ting, make a recon plus intellect check with a bane because you're sleeping.
okay, so that's going to be 7 plus 2 is...
Okay, hold on just a moment here. Dun, dun, dun. There it is. I need to pull up my handy dandy robot handbook. And let's see here. Sorry, I'm looking for, there it is. That's what I want. Page 129. There it is. Okay. So, I'm sorry, what'd you get?
I got a 9.
Okay. You wake up to the glass of your window breaking. And you look over. And it's not even a really very big break. Just like the corner of the glass is, it almost looks like it's been cut and then knocked out. And you see sneaking in a robot. And this thing looks like some kind, like a little spider droid with 4 legs. And it has a hooked tail that comes up, and the tail, the edge of the tail is actually a monoblade. This is a assassin droid.
I guess you want me to roll initiative?
I'm adding you to the stack. Everybody roll initiative. Now, having said that, Beth and Keith, you roll initiative with a Bane.
All right. And stayed the same. He has a 2 now.
Shit, you got a 2 with a Bane? That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I know, right? The Banes aren't hitting us hard. It's lucky.
Sorry, I'm just looking. -1. Oh, shit. All right. So Ting obviously is going to get to go first. Between Beth and Keith, which one of you wants to go first?
Captain G, go first.
Okay.
All right. So Ting, what do you want to do? You see this thing? I don't know how Ting sleeps at night, but I would imagine your gear's nearby.
Yeah. I think I want to slide my hand in my piston fist.
Okay.
And, yeah. And go try to hit the robot.
All right. So you can move 6 meters. Each of these hexes is 1.5 meters.
Go right there. Just want to try to punch it.
Go for it.
Let's see. That one, and I get a dex bonus, so that'd be +2. This will be my first violent action. An 8.
That is a hit. No bonus damage, but it hits. Go ahead and roll your damage.
I don't get bonus damage from this weapon anyway, but it'll be 3d +2. $14 points of damage.
Damn. Well, even with its 6 armor, this assassin droid, you basically smash it. It makes quite a bit of noise. Beth, what would you like to do? You hear noise like a loud smashing sound coming from across the hall in Ting's hotel room.
Okay, I'm gonna run over there and open the door, I guess.
Okay.
And see what happens.
So you can see that that Ting is standing over what used to be some kind of robot that busted in through his window.
Okay, how much can I move without shooting again? Is it
So if you
16?
you could make 18 meters.
18
It's 6
meters?
It's 6 meters per minor action. So if you decided not to take a significant action, you can move. You can get 3 minor actions and move 18 meters.
Okay, I moved 9. I'm gonna yell for us to take up a defensive position at the end of the hall, and I'm gonna run as far towards that as I can.
Okay.
I'm pretty close to the end. I would just want to go there and turn. Am I armed? I assume
I would assume, I don't know what you're wearing, but I would assume that you grabbed probably a pistol.
Yeah, I'll have the Gauss pistol, and I'm gonna take up a position here.
Okay. That was Keith, what would you like to do? You, likewise, you heard this smashing through the wall.
I heard the smashing. I heard Captain yell to take a defensive position. I am going to. How many rounds would it take me to get in my battle dress, or should I just go out?
I doubt that you have battle dress.
Wait, I don't have a whip.
Port rules for Tech World. Hold on just a moment. Allow me to double check. Page 185. So Tech World, let's see here. It says law level 4. So I don't know, maybe. It's illegal goods. Broker.
I'm probably not sleeping in my combat armor, so I will probably put that on if I'm not wearing it.
So, law level. You would think that I would have law levels memorized by now, but I just don't. Especially in a pirate campaign. So, weapons that are banned are light assault weapons and submachine guns. Or up to light assault weapons and submachine guns. So essentially, the best armor that you can carry is cloth.
Okay, then I'm probably sleeping in that.
Yeah, I've got cloth armor pajamas. I'm a pirate now. I'm smart. Okay, so I would say that to throw on your cloth, it would take you a significant action.
Okay, I'll take a significant action, get my cloth armor on, and grab my pistol, and that'll be my action.
Okay.
That'll be my turn, I guess.
Okay. So, this guy. Beth, at the end of the hallway, you hear the elevator ding. Something came up the elevator, or somebody came up the elevator. Let's see, his movement is also 6 meters. Yep, that's 18 right there. You see this assassin droid, 4 little spider-like legs, moving towards you. Ting, make a recon plus intellect check. Okay, so you since Beth opened your door, you can see something just hauling balls run past your front door of your hotel room.
Ting, you're a little quiet.
How's that?
That's better.
Okay. I could go, 4 hexes?
So, 6. So from where you are, 6 meters would put you right out the door.
Yeah. these things aren't really that tough. My friends are tough. I think I want to
Ow,
collect this. How big are these things?
They're small. In fact, it is a -3 to your attack rolls to hit them.
Can I just scoop this one that I busted up and put it in a pillowcase and move along?
Yeah, you can use your round or your turn to grab your pillowcase and scoop this thing up and throw it in there.
That's what I want to do. I'm not really a distance fighter, and that thing I can't reach it anyway. So
Okay. Beth, you see this little creeper assassin droid creepily moving towards you.
I'm gonna try and shoot it.
Go for it. You're at a -3.
That's a 1. Fuck.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Wow. So
I know. That was really bad. Lakeith will save me.
that is an exceptional failure, but I wouldn't say that it, I mean, you didn't roll snake eyes, so it is not a critical failure, but it is still an exceptional failure.
First thing in the morning shooting is not super accurate.
Right. Well, it's not even first thing in the morning. It's like, 3:30 a.m. You go to shoot this creeper as it's moving up on you, and you do whatever you could possibly do that would be wrong, and the magazine falls out of your Gauss pistol.
God damn
No.
Keith, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna walk up to the door, swing it open, and I assume I will see that thing right there.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll take a shot with my laser pistol.
Okay. -3.
That is 10.
Oof. That's a hit.
Yay.
In fact, it is a hit with +2 to damage.
Thank you.
16.
Oof. This one explodes in a shower of sparks.
Good work.
I will continue my walking towards the captain. I'll walk right there.
Okay. So that is all the assassin droids. Ting, of course, has the parts of one crammed into a pillowcase.
Time to take a look at them.
I think maybe I could rebuild it better late. But this time it'll suit our need.
Go ahead and make a investigate plus intellect check. All three of you can make it. I'm assuming Ting is pulling the parts out onto his little end table in there.
I got a 10.
Ooh.
I got a 4.
You got 7.
Sweet.
So, Beth, you're poking through this thing, and I mean, considering where you guys are, you can all recognize that this is not as high of a tech level as would be available on Tech World. It's slightly lower, and poking through the smashed bits, you find a chip on its main board that actually has the GeDeCo logo on it.
God, they're so lame.
They know that we were their assassination.
Are we gonna have to destroy GeDeCo? That one's come too, before they leave us alone.
I'm working on a plan to one day. My goal is to roll up on a GeDeCo base, make credentials, and then auction that motherfucker off. All the vehicles, everything. Go, dude, we're out of here, guys. You guys go catch the thing. I'm gonna liquidate this out. Let's get out of here. We're gonna sell the cabinets. That's my goal. Is to liquidate a GeDeCo base.
We're going to go ahead and break here. So you now are aware that there are a GeDeCo General Development Corporation is sending assassin bots after you. And we will break here to find out how much further they're willing to go next week.
Good job surviving, everybody. See you next week.
Have a good night, guys.
Yeah. And be sure and reach out to JC and see if she wants augmentation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, completely.
That side bonus is what she kind of wanted.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
All right. Well, thank you. It was a great game.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
You too. Yeah.